everybody. Welcome to the Metamorphosis podcast. This is the first episode of this new podcast I am now creating for you. I have no clue what I'm doing, and you are honestly just here for the ride. So I really hope you enjoy, and we will just get started now. So here we go. Okay, we're just going to do some housekeeping here. And I'm just going to give you guys a brief kind of explanation what this whole podcast is going to be. I'm sorry if some of the audio is a little loud. I am in a public space because it's really pretty. And I thought this would be the perfect place to start this series. So we're just going to do that. So basically what this podcast is going to be is just, I want this to be a space to form community where everyone can just have at least an hour, 30 minutes to an hour of peace per week. It's going to be silly. It might be serious at times. I don't quite know yet, because honestly, this is going to be the contents of my brain, but within a podcast format. So that is fun. I also just I have a lot of ideas and a lot of things that, happen in my life that I feel like as a young person is pretty universal for, older Gen Z. I'm 21, so y'all get it if you're in your early 20s, adulting, especially within this day and age after the pandemic. So if you just want to feel seen for an hour, come join. We're just going to talk about the human experience, truly. That's what this podcast is going to be about. And I'm really excited because I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. Anyways, so that's the premise. I chose the name Metamorphosis because, it's kind of cheesy, but we're all going through changes in our life. I'm going to put my legs up on this thing because I can. So, we're all just kind of floating through space and trying to figure it out in our early 20s and in the 2020s. We're halfway through this decade, and that low-key scares the shit out of me. So, yeah, just come on a journey with me. We're going to open each episode with a beautiful intro by my amazing friend, Zeph. Their full name is Zephrine. Follow them on Spotify. And we create this intro together where I just wanted it to transport us all into a space of healing, into a space of just discovery of ourselves. And, we all come together, feel peace. Spring is coming. This is a few days. This is recorded on the 16th, so it's a few days before the start of the spring equinox. And things are just changing. It's a beautiful sunny day. Normally it's super rainy here. Excuse me. And I'm just enjoying the ride. We're just enjoying this beautiful scenery. It is gorgeous. And I wanted to pay appreciation to just, the universe, changing of the seasons. This is partially a spiritual podcast because I am a spiritual person. Hopefully you will discover some of my thought process along the way. And if you agree, then that's amazing and you can join in with the fun. But start off with our intro with the intro. Great content already. And then we will do 3 manifestations / affirmations at the start of each episode to kind of ground us, feel it, especially at the end of the week. These are probably going to be uploaded hopefully by Friday each week. No promises. I am a college student and I am in my 3rd year, so I get quite busy. But this podcast is supposed to be a getaway space, especially from all the crazy, the schoolwork. If you are a college student, you get it. Is this the weekend before finals week? Absolutely. Should I be studying? Absolutely. But am I? No. So, bird, lovely. Nope, I'm doing this because I need a break. I think we all need a break. So let's do our 3 weekly affirmations. These will probably honestly be based on what I'm feeling in the moment, and hopefully for you who are listening or watching on YouTube or whatever streaming platform this ends up on, you will feel the same way. So what is our first? I'm gonna go with, I am grateful to be alive. I am grateful to be alive. I am grateful to be alive. Our second one, I am where I am meant to be. I am where I am meant to be. I am where I am meant to be. Still recording, great. Our third and last one for this first episode is, what will come to me will come. What is meant for me will come. What is meant for me will come. We take a moment of silence. We let that permeate. We let that settle in to the earth around us. And we move on. Okay, so we did our 3 daily affirmations weekly. And now we're going to go into the topic of the week. Honestly, hopefully there will be a consistent topic of the week each week, but sometimes it will just be random, and maybe it will come collectively in its own way. Who knows? But we're trying. I think this week's topic is uncertainty for me. So many things are uncertain in my life. And I don't know, maybe you are feeling uncertain too. And maybe you can relate to this. But I feel like for y'all spiritual girlies, you get it. I'm talking to you. You get it. To the spiritual girlies, I kind of based my calendar off the turning of the seasons. So, during the school year, my school year, I do my fall, I do my winter, and I do my spring, right? And then, summer. But typically fall is, it's the end of the year, it's coming to a close. Old things that are not meant to be dies off, and you let go. And then once winter hits, and like the end of December, and then, January, February, March, this is the time where like not a lot's happening. You sow your seeds in the earth, you plant your ambitions for the year, you really work, you really grind. I sound like I'm something out of work in days. But you see it. Y'all who knows that knows it. But you sow your seeds and you plant. And that's this past winter term for school, but also the season, I feel like I've just been grinding. And it's been a lot. I forget how just completely exhausting it is to do that all the time. And I'm really, it's the uncertainty where you put so much work into your life, your degree, whatever, your purpose, you feel like, and then you don't know if it's gonna work out or not. I've been feeling that a lot, where I've been putting all this work in to like my degree, and there's been a lot of bumpy roads. A lot of things interests have left my life, and, lost one of my closest friends this past February. And while it was sad, it felt right and it felt meant to be, and it's really unfortunate, but things like that happen sometimes, and we just kind of have to move on, accept it, feel it, move on. So I feel like I've been taking bullets after bullets this past term, and I'm just kind of like, okay. Just literally yesterday, I finally felt like I completed all my seeds. I planted them, I dug up the earth, I planted all my seeds, and I put my fresh dirt on it, and I put my fertilizer, and then I'm waiting. Now I'm waiting, and I'm in the void, I'm in limbo. I literally just finished an abstract for a conference yesterday, and I'm terrified. I'm in like the weird in-between where it's like my life is starting outside of college soon. I still have a year to go before I graduate, but like I'm working towards like my career, and my career might be approaching a lot faster than I thought it would be, and that fucking terrifies me to no end because I don't feel ready. I don't know, like parts of me, I think I instinctually am ready. I have all the knowledge I need, but I don't have confidence quite yet in those abilities, and I'm trying to really hard to do that and have faith. Trusting the process, trusting the universe that whatever it has out for me will be. What is meant to be is meant to be. And trusting the process is hard, man. Trusting the process that things will work out in the end is probably one of the biggest struggles, because you never know if it's going to work out or not, and you just have to trust the process. Yeah, so long story short, winter's been hard, but so now we're all kind of in this limbo, and spring is coming. She's coming back. She's saying, hey, I'm here. You gotta trust me. You have to trust that whatever I've been listening, I've seen you do the work, and now I'm gonna reward you with like the fruits of your labor. And I really hope that is the case. I really hope that everything I've worked for, and hopefully you, the person listening, has also put in the work. And will get receive your reward, the fruits of your labor. So, yeah, we've done that. I finally did that. So now we're in uncertainty that like what, like all the effort and energy I'm putting into like all these things in my life, this podcast, the people in my life, my degree, it will work out. And hopefully it will work out for you too. So the unknown is scary. The unknown. So that's great. Like, what? Why are we so, like, instinctually as people so scared of the unknown? I mean, it's probably like, it's biology and all that stuff where, not trusting, not testing the unknown is what has kept us safe, like our survival. But I feel like when we actually get into that unknown, we receive the ingenuity, like human ingenuity to stress forward. Unknown. I mean, I was one of my last classes of this past term on Wednesday. It was a bioanth course, and we had literally learned about the whole span of human evolution. I mean, I'm talking from, ape and I'm talking all the primates, the stratified, I can't even say the word, but the whole thing from the little ones all the way up to small apes, great apes, from that into our hominin ancestors, Australopithecus, yeah, Australopithecus, Ardipithecus, and then I can't remember and then, up to our actual genus, our Homo genus, Homo habilis, Homo africanus, Homo erectus, Homo hyperborgensis, up to Homo sapiens, Neanderthals. We learned all of this whole span of human evolution. And he ends off, he's like, well, here we are, you've seen the journey, this whole journey of your human evolution. You're here, we're all here, we're in this classroom on a Thursday sunny afternoon. And he's like, this is our footprint, like, as like Homo sapiens. We're killing our earth, we're killing the earth, climate change, global warming, and because of like the degree I'm doing, I haven't thought about that in a fat moment. I was like, oh shit, that's right. Our future. And I was like, and he's like, how do you want to influence your future? Because the future, the earth, the way we treat each other, it's all up to us. And I was like, okay, great. Week 10, middle of the week. This is a great way how to, put existential dread into your students. But it was really making me think. I was like, shit, okay, man, we're approaching, like, summer, and just everything we're talking about for the past, 15 minutes. Everything back to the end of winter, the beginning of spring. It really is. It's like we're finally feeling, hopefully, the fruits of our labor, but it's also like, what do you want to do with these successes? What is going to be important in the end? I was like, well, what do I want to be important to me, like, this upcoming time? I think it made me realize, like, I want my life to be helping others, but also, like, taking care of myself. Where's the boundary? Help, big picture. I'm a big picture person. I can do micro, but I've always been a macro person myself. Big person, big picture idea person, lady. And I'm just like, okay, all my career, I'm an anthropologist major, and, my whole, literally my whole degree is this, study of human experiences. And I'm like, well, the earth is warming, so I wish we could all treat each other better. I want to treat other people better. I want to, like, this leads back to this podcast, where I want us to treat each other better, and, like, recognize we all are flawed. We all have uncertainty, and when we have uncertainty, we act with kind of insecurity. We become insecure, we become anxious, and we can hurt each other sometimes with that, without recognizing that we're all in the same boat. So I really just want us all to feel close and together and go on a journey together. So I don't know, I really hope everyone can feel seen. I have no clue exactly what this podcast is going to be about. There's so many things to talk about, and, like, of course I'll make mistakes along the way. Because, that's human nature. That's human nature at its peak right there. I want to get comfortable with myself. I want this to be a journey where I feel I'm able to, challenge myself. You're able to challenge yourself, challenge each other, hold each other accountable, but also be kind and, like, understanding, be sympathetic. You can all learn how to have a little bit more empathy for each other through this shared thing. But yeah, uncertainty. I started a book called The Secret History. And I'm like 24 pages in, and I was like, oh, okay. It's remind me of a class I'm not doing so well in. My fate's very uncertain in that class. It's a language class, and I'm not doing hot because I'm not naturally gifted at languages. I love languages, but I'm not naturally gifted. My friend is very naturally gifted. I'm like, what is that like? What is that like to be... What is it like to be one of the universe's favorite people? The chosen one might say. But, you know, I was just kind of like, I feel so much uncertainty in this. And I was reading this book and I was like, okay, literally, I can't escape this language that causes me so much pain. Oh my God. I saw the word accusative and I wanted to cry. And I think that circles back to, you know, our thing where we can run away, but it always is everywhere. Whatever we're struggling with, even if it's not intentional, it always finds its way back into our lives. And I feel like if we just face it head on, it's a lot better and we learn a great amount of stuff. You know, stuff gets in the way. Life gets in the way. School, work, family, relationships, whatever, love gets in the way of us, like, being able to sit with ourselves and, you know, actually take a look at ourselves in the mirror. And not only in a critical light, but also in a loving light. It's really hard to practice self-love, and no one talks about that. Self-love and actually sitting down with ourselves in a quiet place like this for a moment and listening to the world around us, right? Birds, grass, whatever it is, nature. Feeling connected to nature, staying present is really hard. Just sitting with yourself, not thinking, just letting whatever emotions come and go, and trying not to be so judgmental. I feel like I'm entering that phase where all my work is done. I've, you know, again, sowed my seeds, they're planted, but now it's like this moment, it's a sign, multiple signs, that I have to face what I do not want to face. And I've been replacing it with my friends, with, you know, especially being on my phone, especially towards the end of the term. That's a habit of mine. Probably a lot of you college students can relate to, is like, you don't want to think, you just want to get through it. It's a lot more painful and hard, challenging to, like, get through. Sorry, that is a motorcycle. Like, get through a hard time when you have so much on your plate already. It's too much. And, you know, you can only compartmentalize. I can't say the words, but you know what I mean. So much. You can only lock it away for so long. You have to face it eventually. Because like we said, it comes back and bites us in the ass if we don't. So now I feel like this is a big shift for everybody. I can feel it. My intuition is saying we're all going to have to face things we don't want to face and, you know, deal with it. I'm trying to sit with myself. Maybe this podcast will help, but, you know, sit with myself, spend time with myself, improve the relationship with myself. I feel like that isn't highlighted enough nowadays. Like, people do not want to have relationships with themselves. I think what happens to me, at least, I can't speak for y'all, but a big thing that happens for me is when I'm not working on the relationship with myself, or I don't recognize myself as a person in this world, I just kind of like disassociate. I'm like, I'm here, but I feel like I'm a viewer in my own story. I don't feel present. And so when people leave me, it's like I'm feeding off other people's energy, and when I'm left alone, I'm just like, oh, I'm like a floating blob. I'm like, okay, I'm floating. Where the fuck am I? I feel empty. I feel like a void. So just like being kind, like letting myself take up space, be present, be a person in this world. It's difficult. It's a practice. Maybe we should all practice that more. maybe each week when you come back to this podcast, we can take a moment and go, 5 seconds. Well, how am I feeling today? Where am I at in my journey? Because I want y'all to feel healed. I want y'all, regardless of, progress is not linear. Again, for the girls in the back, progress is not linear at all. Progress is not linear. Where at least, when you come back, we take those 5 seconds and you go, okay, I have progressed. I have moved forward. I've moved forward and I'm so grateful for that. And we can practice gratitude. Anyways, that was a long rant. I don't even know where I'm at. How did we get here? We were talking about ourselves. We were talking about sitting with ourselves. Yeah, so we're all sitting with ourselves, being kinder. I kind of wanted to talk about how, at least in our modern world, and again, I'm not creating any of this. I've seen this from multiple things, myself, but also Instagram, great YouTube commentaries that I've been watching recently, but just how I've been seeing a lot of things on social media where it's like we, in late stage capitalism, within America, within the United States, we have commercialized self-care. Self-care can't just be a universal thing. Self-care, you have to do it the right way or it doesn't count. Even spirituality, whatever, the caring of the soul has become a commercialized thing. It's not just something that we can sit with ourselves, like we were saying, and building off what we truly need. I've been struggling with that. I'm on my phone. I see all these things and I'm like, oh God, I wanna be like her. I wanna be like the it girl. I wanna be working on myself and be productive, go to the gym, meditate for 45 minutes, make a healthy breakfast, whatever. But sometimes that is not the case. Sometimes I'm exhausted. Sometimes I do 5 minutes of yoga, 30 seconds meditation, and then I get up and start working. Or whatever. I don't have a perfectly balanced schedule. I try to go on walks once again, but it's not linear, like we were saying. So it's hard. We feel with the uncertainty, with not knowing who we are, and being scared to build that relationship. And then we try to help ourselves through the guise of, this guise of self-care, this commercialized self-care. The sun feels very nice. We thank you, Mr. Sun. I love the sun. Anyways, but we try to help each other, ourselves, through this commercialized version of self-care. And it's just not helping. It's not true. A lot of us, especially, as college students, we don't have that money. I don't have that money. I have a nice apartment. I've made it nice, but, it's older. It's cheap. We try to get cheap food, I try to replenish my body. I try to do all these things where it's try to be eco-friendly, help your body, feed your body, good things. I try to, I go to Trader Joe's, I try to get good stuff for my body. But it's hard. There's so many things outside of my control. I don't know what's in that food. Even if it's organic, I don't know what's in my water. I have to pray that my tap water is healthy. So much stress, so many things that are out of my control. Praying that, my rent is not super high. It got raised another $50 for next year. Stressful. But, there's so many things outside of our control that that's why it makes it just really hard to truly have the perfect self-care. That's why self-care looks different for everybody. And you kind of have to let go. I have to let go, but we all have to let go of the notion that, we have to make our own things that work for us, a routine, find things that make us feel fulfilled and peaceful, whether that is, hobbies, spirituality, religion. We all have different circumstances. We have identities within this world that makes our circumstances different for us all and make it harder for a lot of people too, especially, communities of color and people of color, LGBT, whatever. That changes our perspective of what exactly self-care is and what is accessible to us. So don't be hard on yourself if your progress in your self-care looks different than like the petite blonde girl on Instagram going, I get up at 6 a.m. But you know what I mean? It's different. So don't be so hard. Try to focus on what you can control, at least your emotions, yourself, work on that. And then try to find things that work for you. You don't have to feed in to the social media BS where it's like, oh, you're not truly spiritual if you don't have 40 trillion crystals and you know the meaning of every crystal, and you don't know every astrology sign, or you're not doing a detox, or doing gluten-free, free range, you're eating meat, or whatever, just anything you're into, your innate identity, your hobbies, your spirituality, your lifestyle. Again, it's different. You don't have to feed into it because that isn't your life. It's not realistic. You can't have a universally same thing. We're all different, and that's what makes us beautiful, and like makes meeting people and living in this world so beautiful, is that we all, even if we have similar interests, you're not like that other girl. Yes, there might be, for example, another person who could look exactly like me, longer, brown, wavy to curly hair. Can't tell that because my hair's up, but short, 5'1", white girl who's also into, photography, my brain's totally blinking. Photography, spirituality, classics, reading, jewelry making, whatever. But the thing is, our lives can be completely different. We might have this similar things, but they're not going to function in the same way. And so when we get together, we can talk about it, but also learn different aspects of the things we're into and see it in a different light. And that's beautiful. I mean, and it is beautiful, but I think the hard thing is because we have these stupid things we've created where, especially corporations, I hate that corporations have, taken over things like spirituality and like just very personal things and dictate what the good and the bad look like. But it's hard when we see people who are into the same thing, and sometimes we get jealous. Sometimes I get apprehensive, and I get critical or judgmental of other people because that source of, this universal thing we're both in. But the thing is, those things that we're both into is our own, and we've made it into something uniquely our own. And I think hopefully me saying that I've been trying to think of that for a while, and I hope I'm gonna take that in. I hope you all take that in, and hopefully just be less judgmental to yourselves. Let's not try to feed into this stupid universal thing that late stage capitalism has placed on us, because we're all unique and we live in such a crazy time. But every young person in any time has gone through the same thing, just in different ways. But being a young person at 20-something in the 2020s, with the stuff we've been through the past few years, I hope that this little snippet of knowledge, that has just made it into my brain and I've shared it with you, helps you and brings you some peace. That's the big lesson of this podcast is, don't be so hard on yourself, and claim how different aspects of yourself are uniquely yours. That's the lesson. claim those aspects of yourself that is actually your personal experience, how things like your spirituality, your hobbies, your point of view, while it might be similar to others, your existence in this world makes them unique. You are special in your own way, not the bullshit, everyone's special in their own way. You are actually, like, you're a person in this world, and you are uniquely you. There might be people similar to you, but they're not you. So take pride in that. Take pride in that being a part of you. Thank you. I think I'm good for today. This is the end of the first episode of the Metamorphosis podcast. Thank you all so much for listening in, and I really hope whoever's listening, probably honestly my friends, the three people who are listening to this, I want to thank you, and I really hope you have a beautiful weekend or whenever you're listening to this, and hopefully this has brought you some solace in a hard time. So thank you again, and I will hopefully see you next week.